Kill the coverage and then watch how quickly they forget the same issues people said that we cannot neglect.
Bam. And we are recording. All right, ladies and gentlemen, pardon me because it has been far too long since I last recorded. Ooh, can't even talk. You see what happens when you don't pod? Your joint don't even come out good. Let me move this up just a smidge. You know what I mean? Let me see what's that look. Levels. The levels is good. The levels is good. All right, welcome back. This is going to be a very unorthodox, probably unedited episode. There's a lot going on, and I've been gone almost a month. I don't even really have time to get into why, but I know I've been slacking, and I'm sorry. And hopefully, this will make y'all feel better about some of the time that we've missed, because I'm trying to give y'all a lot today. And so, let's get right into the shenanigans, okay? Forget about the drop today because most of this pod is politics as usual, all right? And also, let's start there. We're going to get into the fun stuff a little later on. You know, the, the naughty stuff a little later on. But for now, let's get right into some wild political stuff. I got to get my phone and keep my specs on because I had to take notes. And also, I know I'm out here looking rough, rugged, and raw. Pardon me. I apologize. I'm due for a haircut, I know. But it's coming soon, don't worry. Alright, let's get it popping. Let me get my notes out. Because I took notes for y'all, man. Oh, that's the wrong app. Whoops. Alright. So, some of you may know, some of you may not know. But there was a congressional hearing about UAPs, which is really UFOs, okay? And who cares what UAP stands for? Y'all can look that part up. But basically, there was a congressional hearing with 3 different witnesses from 3 different programs in government, or that's not even the best way to say it. Probably the best way to say it is 3 different witnesses from different walks of life, all having to do with being in some form of military, and some of them also in some form of government. Okay, we'll get to it. Y'all probably saw clips already circulating from the main guy, I guess. He was asked the most questions because do I have his name here? I think I do. His name is Gersh. Gersh, or Grush. I think it was Gersh though. But anyway, the one dude, he's who you see all the like thumbnails of on YouTube. He works for, or is the head of, it's crazy to even say this, but he is in charge of the UAP task force. What is that? That is a task force put together in 2020, which we're going to get to how in just a second, but that's a task force put together in 2020 to investigate all this UAP, unidentified object and things, He's in charge of an organization that oversees other organizations that are involved with UAPs or UFOs, extraterrestrials, if you will. Okay? Now, why does this exist? Because clearly there's a lot going on with UFOs and UAPs, which you'll see through my notes and what I'm going to report to y'all. If you didn't watch the 2-hour and 16-minute congressional hearing. Now, this task force was put together in 2020 with something called the NDAA bill. The NDAA bill is something I've been talking about since I found out about it in 2012. Obama signed the version back then. It's the National Defense Authorization Act. And there are many versions of this bill. The 2012 one I found out later on was actually not even the first. This is something that gets signed and re-signed and altered constantly. And so under the National Defense Authorization Act, the UAP task force was born. Okay? Now let's go to my notes. What did we learn here? Well, we learned that there are objects that are able to move in ways that we cannot. That's one of my bullet points. Another one is Grush. Let's just call him capital G. Capital G, yes, the same guy in charge of the UAP task force, said that we have materials and he knows the exact locations of these materials. What kind of materials? Materials that are both biological and of crafts, spaceships, vehicles, if you will. Okay, let's keep going here. What else I got? Oh, there's a famous Tic Tac event. If you look it up, this one situation happened and they were able to film it using some of the equipment, and they were able to declassify a video from 2004. It's on the internet. You can look it up. It's called the infamous Tic Tac incident, because in the radar blip it looks teeny tiny like a Tic Tac. Yes, Tic Tacs, little mints that your grandma used to give you to put in your mouth. They come in a little itty bitty container and then Tic Tac. It's called the Tic Tac incident. The gentleman involved, one of the 4 pilots involved, said that during this Tic Tac event, radars were jammed. Okay? And the thing that looks like a Tic Tac, he said it was actually over 40 feet long. It had no visual propulsion system, no wings on the craft, and the craft had tech in 2004 that we didn't have then, don't have now, and won't have in the next 15 to 20 years. That's a quote from the gentleman, okay? Now, there's an article in the New York Times by Leslie Keem that discusses some of this UAP stuff. It was mentioned several times throughout the congressional hearing. Y'all might want to check it out. That's a little something for y'all, a little homework for y'all, okay? Let me see. There's another gentleman. His name was Graves. Graves was a military dude. He has an organization where he tries to help pilots who have witnessed these type of things, both in military and in commercial airlines. I'm going to say that again, both in military and commercial airlines. Yes, that's what he said. He has pilots that he interacts with in both of those walks of life who have seen these types of things, and he's trying to create a place where they can feel comfortable expressing what they saw and maybe even reporting what they saw, because people have been, how do we say, people have been through harsh retaliation for coming forth publicly about these things in the past. And so that's the platform he's trying to build. Okay. And they spoke about an incident, Graves spoke about an incident where he says they mostly saw dark gray or black cubes inside of a gray sphere, and that is what has been mostly seen and reported to him and by him. Okay? Commercial pilots have seen this as well. And then there was another incident that some pilots have made him aware of, a specific incident where there was 100-yard, yes, like a football field, a 100-yard red square object that came very close to a specific base. He named the base. I didn't get to put the base in my notes, but they named a specific base. Many people saw this red square object come to the base, and they stood there at the base for 45 seconds before darting away. This happened twice in 24 hours. Okay? It says that commercial aviators are given cease and desist. I'm sorry, they said, not it says. My notes say something they said at the congressional hearing. I guess I'll put this up so y'all don't got to keep seeing the bottom of my head. Commercial aviators are given cease and desists by companies they work for when trying to speak of and report UAP incidents. Let's keep it moving. They also said satellite images exist of these things, but they are not public or shown to Congress. Okay? NASA and Harvard both started programs for UAPs. Dun, dun. That's right. What else did we find out? Info first came to the US government in the 1930s about UAPs. I'm sorry, what? 1930s. 1930s. Ain't Roswell like 60 something? Let's keep it moving. All right, what else? It says that the Pentagon fails auditing. Oh, okay, wait. I should have got his name. I think his name is. Oh, yeah, I got it right here. Burchard. Burchard. There's a senator named Burchard. He spoke and asked a lot of questions. He's one of the people on the board or the panel, whatever. He was asking questions, and he said that the Pentagon fails auditing every year. It's failed the last 5 years or more. And he said, quote, they lose over $1 billion a year, and the Department of Defense has maybe 60% of their assets unaccounted for, whatever that means. That's what he said. The Department of Defense and the Pentagon lose this much money, and they believe, the three witnesses, this is how some of the funding happens for these programs that are not really known about, such as the programs underneath the UAP task force. Okay, I already told y'all that was my next note. 2020 NDAA created the USP task force. All right, IRAD programs. I don't know what that means, but we got to find out, folks. IRAD. Maybe that'd be a topic we cover real soon. What is IRAD? I don't know, but we're going to try to find out. Now, they said IRAD programs can do whatever they want with their money. And so maybe this is one of the ways that these programs are existing and things are moving around. Now, it said also UAPs and government agencies have both harmed humans in these incidents. Meaning there were incidents where there was a UAP and a government entity in the same incident, coexisting, interacting, engaging, and humans were hurt by both sides of that incident. Okay? I'm going to leave that there for now. Let's keep it going through these notes. Okay? They said that there have been plenty of crashes that predate all UAP programs. Plenty that predate UAP programs. Just think about that right there. Okay? Next, Gates. That was one of the witnesses. That's the guy involved in the Tic Tac incident. Okay? Gates says he has seen radar. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Gates is a government official. Y'all probably seen a lot of the things going on with him that have nothing to do with this. But he says he has done his own auditing and his own investigating and trying to reach out to different people within government agencies. Let me fix my shirt real quick. And he has seen both radar and a picture from pilots of an incident where 4 orb-like ships who rotated in a diamond formation. When one pilot approached them, the systems he used that would be able to record these things malfunctioned as he approached. All right. Gersh, again, head of the UAP task force, says that there are bodies and crafts that have been recovered. He has not seen them firsthand, but he knows the people who have. Gersh knows of someone who was injured doing a reverse engineering attempt. What does that mean? That means they found a ship and tried to put it back together and make it work, like y'all seen in Independence Day. Think about Independence Day. A lot of this reminds you of Independence Day. We're going to get to that in a minute. They tried to make the ship work on their own, not creating, but trying to figure things out. That's called reverse engineering. We're trying to take the things that already exist. We don't know how they work. We're trying to figure out how they work and get them to do things again. He knows someone who was injured during a reverse engineering attempt. Next. Okay, last thing, and then we're going to talk a little bit. In 1971, a treaty between U.S. and Russia specifically stated that they will communicate. I can't even talk. This is so crazy. I apologize. In 1971, a treaty between U.S. and Russia specifically stated that they will communicate at any time a UAP international incident happens, and this is somewhere in the public sphere. That's what they said. They said that document is not classified or private. This is an open document that you can find if you search for it. Ladies and gentlemen, those are my notes on the UAP task force. I'm sorry, on the UAP congressional hearing. Now, here's the first thing I will say. A lot of the nooks and crannies, a lot of the things you want answered, a lot of the things I want answered, and a lot of things that the congressional hearing people wanted answered couldn't be answered. Because the dude in charge, Grush, capital G, he is the dude with most of these answers. He is the one in charge of the UAP task force. He cannot say any of these things publicly because he is currently under trial as a legal whistleblower. I got to be honest, I never heard the term legal whistleblower before. So apparently you can whistleblow in a legal way and your trial will be different than someone like a Snowden, for example. And I got to find out more about that. That's some homework for me. Maybe y'all should do some homework on that too if you're interested. But yes, he is legally a whistleblower. He is on trial. And so he cannot say anything publicly that he did not already state publicly before his trial began. And that changed a lot of things. So a lot of the things that they wanted him to answer, a lot of things they asked him, he could not answer because he'll get in trouble for saying new public information. But he did say he's willing to speak privately if it goes through the proper channels and if special permission is granted. And there's a term for it. They kept saying it, but I can't remember. I was too busy trying to take these notes for me and for y'all. And so this is it, folks. A lot of it was Independence Day type stuff. It was almost like watching Independence Day if you listen to the words that they say in Independence Day. There have been crafts that we've had for a long time. There's biologicals that we've had for a long time. People have seen these things and it's been kept on the hush for a long time. And so this is not new. Even some of the people on the Congressional Hearing Board or committee or older folks, and they said, we've been curious about this our entire lives. As senators, we've been trying to find out this information, and we've been straight up told to our face it doesn't exist, even after we were told it does exist by someone who might have saw something or heard something. And so the government is hiding things from the government. That's right, folks. You guessed it. Secret, hush, hush stuff going on. And so I just want to say this is wild. So wild that I stood up and watched the whole 2 hours and 16 minutes of it and took notes because I thought this was too wild to be ignored and not discussed. I could probably do a whole hour just on this. I mean, it was wild looking at the facial reactions. The one dude who was a pilot for the Tic Tac incident, he was like too happy. It was weird. Every time they asked him something, he had like a smirk. They're like, so can you describe what the Tic Tac looked like in real life up close? He's like, yeah, I sure can. Let me tell you. Or they asked him, do you know other pilots who have dealt with this before? Yeah, I do. He was showing more teeth than anybody up there. It was really interesting to see how excited this guy was every time he spoke. And it was even more interesting because people were very reluctant to say certain things, and people were speaking about other people they knew. The witnesses were speaking about other people they knew and the scrutiny they've been through. And my man said straight up, oh, that's interesting because I've been treated very well. And he's about to retire from some high position in government military world. So do we have full answers? No. But UAPs/UFOs do exist. Aliens are among us. And there have been plenty of crashes, allegedly. So, E.T. did not phone home, folks. He's here chilling somewhere. And so there's technology that they asked, do you think this is possible to have come from one of our allies or one of our enemies? And everybody was like, nah, this is some other shit. There's some shit we never seen. There's some stuff we couldn't even fathom. And so I thought it was super interesting. But really, the meat and potatoes, as they say, we didn't get to it. We couldn't get to it. We all wanted it, but we didn't get to it. A lot of this stuff is classified, and many people were saying that. It seems that things are, in fact, overclassified, one person even said, because things that should be public and things that should be available to everyone, or at least to the people in Congress at minimum, are not. And so these things, even declassifying these things, is a challenge, they said, because you got to go through a program that basically doesn't exist, right? It's like, well, who do I speak to? Who's in charge? There's no such program. Sorry, can't help you. Yo, this stuff is wild. It's so interesting to me that there is such a lack of transparency in this country. It's crazy to me. It's like, dude, I mean, why don't just keep it real out here? I wonder, what is the fear? I wonder, what is the motive? I mean, if we talking about 1930s, my lamb, that is serious. 1930s. That's wild right there. I mean, Biden wasn't even born back then, and he's 80. I know I'm foul for that. I know I'm foul, but it's true. We're going to get to Biden a little later. But anyway, that's what happened with the UAP task force. It was informative. It was interesting. It was a little bit of a circus, if we're being honest. But it wasn't the main stage. It wasn't what we wanted. You know, it was the elephants holding each other's tails. You know, it was the clowns running around and spritzing things in people's faces. But it wasn't the wild craziness that we were yearning for. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't people riding around in motorcycles going all type of directions, 10 of them in there in a small metal cage and not colliding. It wasn't that. It wasn't a bunch of tigers and one guy with a whip and we just waiting there to see him get torn apart. It wasn't that. Wasn't even the flying trapeze people up there in the sky with no net below them. This was just, it was like we gonna give y'all a little something and just maybe this will hold y'all off for a while. That's what it was kind of like. And so I get that what we really wanted is classified and dude couldn't talk. I want to know when dude can talk. I want to know when that information is coming out. Because until then, we just going to know what we already knew. That this is already here. And a lot of what they said was like the second half of the Independence Day movie. The first one from the 90s. Not that new one that came out a while ago. Ooh, yucky poo-poo. Don't even bother if you didn't see it. And yeah, that's what it was. That was the UAP, aka UFO Congressional Committee hearing. That's what was said. That's my thoughts on it. And, you know, if you feel like you got some time, grab some popcorn, a pen and a pad, and go watch it. You know what I mean? It's available on the YouTubes and probably other places. All right? So that's it for that. Let's keep it moving in the political arena. Okay? We all know by now that the former president has been going through some things. We all know this to be true. Excuse me. And so I am not going to sit here and read all of the things going on with the former president. But y'all know that Trump has been going through some things. And he has had indictments and he's angry at judges. And man, Trump is going through it. And I don't know if he's going to see jail time, but there are now 3 federal indictments against Trump. Trump has a lot going on. He will be in court for the foreseeable future. Trump has also made it very clear that he doesn't care what happens. He will be running for president again. He doesn't care if we pardon him or not. He is not saying pardon me. In fact, he's saying, I don't care what y'all do. I will be president again. He doesn't care what happens with any of this stuff. He also feels it is a waste of time. This is all what he said. We don't know what he truly feels. This is what he said. And the circus is going on, folks. This is the real circus here, okay? The circus is going on. It is in full effect right now in America. Okay, the last month that I haven't potted, it's been almost a month. And this last month, it's been a circus. Yeah, the main stage, all three rings. You feel what I'm saying? The main ring, everything. Okay, and he's now saying this is an attack by his opponent and his administration. It's getting wild out here. What will happen? I don't know, but I'm here for it. And if Trump does get locked up, I'm cool with that, as long as they can prove crimes were committed. I don't want to see people going to prison ever off of nonsense. But if we can prove this man did something wrong, I can't say we, I'm not part of the squad. I'm indifferent. I just feel politicians are crooked. All of them, they care more about agendas than people. And so, listen, if they get caught slipping, send them to jail. I'm cool with it. All of them, any of them who get caught doing things they shouldn't be doing, and we can prove it and send them to jail, I'm all for it. Completely. So I'm not red or blue. I got no team here. I have no horse in the race. But it is extremely interesting the way that he has been moving. He's been very public. He's been very adamant. I think it's very interesting. And I'm curious, what do you think about what's going on with Trump, the indictments, the accusations, the way he's responding publicly? And I got to say one thing. I know some people are upset that the judge who has been overseeing many of the January 6 trials, and she's been handing out some harsher punishments than people have expected. And there's some people who are upset about that. I'm not. And I'm going to keep it real. I'm not. Why? Because black people get harsh sentences all the time. There are many statistics about how we get harsher sentences than the other group of people committing crimes. Yes, white people, straight up. There are many statistics about this, how two people can do the same crime, one white, one black, and the black person with the same record and the same crime gets a way longer sentence. And so if these white folks are getting some extra time, if they're getting some harsher sentences, I'm not mad at that, because the system is so unbalanced that we could afford for a little whiteness to get a little more time. This is not racial for me. I'm simply speaking about statistics and balancing the scale and justice. No one should be getting harsh sentences. Let's be clear. But it happens to us so much. I ain't mad if it happens to y'all a little bit. Excuse me, to them a little bit, because I don't want to assume who's watching and not watching this. I'm not mad at that. So if she feels these are the harsher sentences and she feels this is what should be imposed, I'm okay with that. And let me make it even more real. The reason why I'm okay with that is because if there was a January 6th incident, if there was an insurrection incident led by black folks, there would be no trials. There would be lots and lots of funerals. And that's the nicest way I could say that. So if y'all want to complain about harsher sentences, you be alright. Go look in history at who gets the harshest sentences. And then you can bring that data to me, and then we can have a real conversation. No pun intended. Okay? And now, let's speak more about sentences and politicians. And I'm almost done with politics. Just want to take that out of my pocket. I'm almost done with politics. I know there's more to this pod than that. But I just want to show y'all. I just want to play catch up a little bit. There's some things I feel passionately about, and I don't want to wait and just dismiss them. Wait or just dismiss them. The next thing is, let me clear my throat. All right. The next thing is Hunter and Joe Biden. Now, I feel the same way here. If President and former Vice President Joe Biden has done things that are punishable, if he has done things that are criminal, then he too should be going to prison. I want to be clear. I have no hesitance in saying that. My thoughts on this are across the board. Okay? I'm all for bipartisan punishment. You feel what I'm saying? Let the Republicans and Democrats get together and get punished. That's how I feel. Now, it seems that Joe Biden is not 100% in the clear here, and more evidence and more investigations will come. I'm just going to say real quick, if it can be proven, if we have evidence, if they find evidence that Joe Biden has done bad things, if Joe Biden has helped his son break laws, then yes, Joe Biden should get locked up too. Fair is fair. I'm all for it, as I said a moment ago. Now, let me say something else. And I know y'all going to say I'm foul. And so, I'm cool with that. But I saw that I read headlines that straight up said the Congress and the Senate and everyone is pressuring the White House to get Joe Biden to publicly say he will not pardon his son if his son gets locked up while he's president. Ladies and gentlemen, let me be the first to tell you that Joe Biden, in my humble opinion, should completely pardon his son if his son gets locked up. I'm going to keep it very real here for y'all. I've been gone too long to come back and pull punches. Okay? Forget about your political party. Forget about your presidency. I mean, it's almost over anyway, right? Forget about political affiliations. That's your kid. Smart or not. Good businessman or not. That's your kid. Y'all were going crazy in excitement when Trump pardoned ASAP Rocky and a bunch of other miscellaneous people. And some of his peoples. Y'all were very excited. There were parties being thrown because ASAP Rocky was finally free. Hooray! You think I'm not going to pardon my son? Let me make it very clear here, folks. If I was president, which I probably never will be, I just reached the age when you can run. But anyway, it's not about me. But let me just say, if I was president of this great nation, and my child did some boneheaded shit, and they're locked up like the Akon song, you better believe that I don't have a second of hesitation, because I will immediately, at the first chance I get, pardon my child. I'm not going to let my kid sit and be locked up while I'm sitting in the White House chilling. No. Hey, listen. Yeah, get my kid up out of there. Thanks. They ain't never going to have to ask me, Dad, can you pardon me? No, because I'm going to pardon them at the first chance I get. That's the first question I'm going to be asking as soon as the trial date starts. Oh, where they start? Their trial starts Monday. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So when y'all think you're going to wrap it up, how soon can I pardon them? How many days they got to be in jail so I can pardon them? Do they ever have to go to jail? Is there a way for me to just pardon them as soon as the guilty verdict comes? Pardon me. Pardon me? Pardon me. Pardon me? No. Not hesitating. I'm pardoning my kid immediately. Y'all talking about... I saw a couple of articles that said that. Headlines reading, pressure is being put on the White House. Biden cannot pardon his son. Hey, you'll pardon that man. That's your kid. Y'all can say what y'all want. Y'all can say I ain't shit. I'm cool with that too. But if my kid did something and I had the power to absolve them, the power to get them up out of there, they getting up out of there. Why would I want them there if I could control it? No, I'm not doing that. My kid would never have to ask me for a pardon. Listen, I got you, player. And I mean, right now I only got a daughter. I don't got a knuckleheaded son yet. And maybe I'll never have one, who knows? But either way, if I was president and my child did some knuckleheaded shit and now they got to serve time, I got your back, player. This is what it's for. This is the whole point. Yeah, it's cool to be vice president, put that on the resume, get a nice check. But think about it. The man been vice president already. The man been president already. And he's rich and he's 80. What more he got to do? What more is left on the bucket list of his life to check off? If they say, hey, you pardoned your son, you can no longer be a Democrat, you can no longer be a politician, and you can never run for president again. So, who cares? Look at his life. And I'm let me be clear here. I'm not a Biden fan or foe. I'm just saying, let's think about the legacy he already left behind. What more could he do? He's 80. He's fallen on TV a bunch of times. So he provided the world with comedy, right? He's been vice president 2 terms. Yo, he's cool with Obeezy, y'all favorite president. You know what I'm saying? The coolest president in the world, allegedly. That's his man's. What's left? Even if Obama was to say, yo, man, you pardoned your son, I can't be cool with you no more. Okay, Obama didn't kiss my ass. I'm not letting my son sit and rot. You crazy? Pardon me. Let's move on. Let me see what else is on the docket here. Obeezy, baby. Pardon me, Obeezy. All right. What else I got for y'all? Oh, an update. I should have said this after the UFO thing, man. Y'all remember I told you about the flying cars? Y'all remember that? How they got flying cars coming? Yo. I told y'all that flying cars were coming. They were approved. And that they are taking pre-sales. These mother lovers got hundreds of thousands of pre-sales. I think it was something like 200,000 pre-sales. Let me see if I can find it real quick, because I don't like to report inaccurately. And flying car pre-sales. Can you pre-order a flying car? Yeah. Excuse me. Got it. Found it. The headline reads from Insider.com, the company behind $300,000 flying EV the FAA approved for test flights says it already received $250 million of pre-orders. Wow. I'm trying to see if there's an exact number here of the pre-orders, not the dollars. Let me see. Oh, most orders are from individuals, but there are several B2B agreements also. That's business to business for those who don't know. Business to business. This puts the number of individual cars pre-ordered at least 834, although the company did not share the exact numbers. Wow. They had 440 vehicles pre-ordered in the fourth quarter of 2022 alone, including an order placed by what it said was, quote, a large Hong Kong-based aviation technology company. Wow, that's wild. That is wild. All right, folks, there you have it. I just wanted to give you that quick update about those pre-orders. I can't believe people went wild pre-ordering the flying car. Yo, don't y'all know, man, you never get the first one. Whether that's an iPhone, a flying car, or something else, you never get the first one. You gotta let them get the bugs out, the kinks out. Can't be on the first one. That's no bueno. All right, speaking of the first one, let's move on a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about tech. Let's keep it in tech. It's been a while, but I haven't been here. And so Meta, the owner of WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram, launched an app to go up against Twitter. So something I read about a while ago and was waiting to see if it was real. I'll be honest, I didn't think it was gonna happen. I saw it and was like, get out of here, a text-based app. In the age of video? Why would y'all do that? Well, Musk and Zuckerberg, they beef in all type of ways. I got more stuff in my pockets bothering me, sorry. They beef in all type of ways, Musk and Zuck. And when it seemed like Twitter users were the most angry with Twitter, at that moment, probably way before they were ready, Zuck hit him with a low blow. And in the middle of Twitter's demise, we get the Threads app. Y'all heard of it. Y'all probably been using it. Some people are just now getting on it. I seen a couple of notifications just the other day. A couple people just got on Threads, folks. Threads broke records with the amount of active users because they were smart. You could integrate most of your stuff directly from Instagram. But also reports have already come out in less than a month that active users are going down. They've added some things that people asked for, a following tab, search, things of that nature. But it's already on the decline. Very interesting. I think it's really interesting that just as quick as we rise, we fall. I'm curious about the longevity of this Threads app. I'm curious to see how they'll integrate things, what other things they'll integrate into the app. And man, let me tell you something. This stuff is really crazy. This tech war and public beef between these two moguls is so interesting and entertaining, and also such a waste of time and resources. I have to be honest. I don't mean to be a stick in the mud, but man, these guys are wasting billions of dollars and probably not billions, but millions of dollars at minimum, just doing shit to like poke at each other. I just feel like those resources could be used to do so many other great things, but instead we're just messing around. Now, on a positive note, this is a good way for people to connect with others. For example, someone who you might follow on another app may never have followed you back. But if you were one of the people to join Threads in the last month, they may have followed you back, especially if you interacted with them. And so there's a lot of different things that you could be doing on Threads. Also, this allows you to create a chain, just like on Twitter, right? On Twitter, you tweet. You can create a thread with multiple tweets. You can also do that. It's a little different than Instagram. On Instagram, it's harder to connect your posts unless they're on your story. So there are some benefits of this Threads app. I don't know how long people are going to rock with it, though. It seems to be on the decline rather quickly. They're going to have to do some things to boost engagement and boost active users, usership. I don't know what's the proper term. On similar but different news, Musk wasn't taking it. Musk wasn't happy. Musk was publicly upset and has made some very public moves to fight back, I guess. But it don't seem to be really smart. He's kind of like in vigilante mode. It's weird, man. So weird. Twitter no longer exists. It's now called X. And there are lawsuits already in place because the X letter, I guess. Yeah, I don't know how else to say it, but the X has already been copyrighted and trademarked by several companies to be used in different ways. And so multiple companies are fighting this. And I forgot what city the headquarters is in. I think it's LA, but I could be wrong. Anyway, my man put like a bat signal on top of the headquarters. There's a big X illuminated constantly, and people are complaining and they're trying to shut it down because my man put a big X symbol in lights on top of headquarters. People are not happy. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he saw too many Batman movies or if he was excited to see Michael Keaton come back in the Flash. I don't know. I don't know. But it's no longer a blue bird, a blue symbol with a white bird. It's now a black box with an X in it, and the X has like some kind of design to it. It's weird. It's just Twitter. Nothing about the app has changed except the stuff they announced when it was still Twitter. It's Twitter. I don't know. He tried to rebrand it, and I saw that this change has completely plummeted Twitter's stock and valuation. I don't know if that's true, but that's something I saw on a couple news sites. I didn't look into it further because honestly, I don't really care, y'all. I'll be honest. I mean, there's even a rumor that like Succession, like Ken and Rome were trying to screw up the deal, that perhaps that's what Musk has been trying to do the whole time. And I think that's an interesting take. But honestly, truly, I don't care. Whoever's going to use Twitter is going to stay there, regardless what the name is. If that's your favorite platform, you're probably going to stay there. Especially because so far on Threads, even if you were thinking of switching like some people have said they will, it doesn't really seem to be supporting the X-rated content as of yet, where Twitter is infamous for being able to, where Twitter is infamous for allowing people to post, promote, and create X-rated content up there. So they still have an advantage, even if you change the name. I don't think the users are going to disappear. Although I do see lots of people on Threads saying like, oh, now that this exists, I'm done with Twitter, because of their frustration with Musk and the constant changes. Again, it was a pivotal moment, both for Meta and Twitter, and Zuck did a really smart thing putting out the app. Why do I call him Zuck? If you don't know, you're not on Threads. On Threads, his handle, Mark Zuckerberg's handle, is Zuck. So he's rebranded himself in a cool way. So that's it for tech, but not really. We stay in tech, but we move to our favorite part of the pod. And so, what is that? Y'all know what it is. So let's talk a little bit about something that was brought to my attention a while ago, but I didn't really know anything about as of yet. And that is AI girlfriends. Yes, I said it. Artificial intelligence girlfriends. AI girlfriends. Apparently, there are multiple apps, multiple sites where you can engage in romantic and emotional ways with AI. There is AI available to those who want to be in a relationship and those who want to be intimate in different ways. And so they are out. They have already existed for a while. I had no idea. Okay. So shout out to my friend who put me on, and just want to show her some love. Quick shout out to you. You know who you are. And this is what people are doing. There's even a New York Post article where a gentleman is married and has an AI girlfriend. There are statistics that show that even people in relationships, most of them feel this AI relationship is not cheating. I don't even know where to start. I gotta be honest, this stuff is wild. Another article I read was about a young woman who has a lot of people following her, mostly males, mostly men who want to interact with her, ask her questions, be involved with her. And she is who created an AI. The AI uses her voice and responds to your messages with voice notes. This stuff is wild. The way that they explain that, the way it explains how these AI girlfriends programs interact with you, how they learn from you, it is really interesting. Some of them are programmed to speak to people in ways that most of the conversations have gone with users. And so, because of that, there's one incident where someone self deleted because it was set up to be encouraging. And this man was up there venting and saying what his thoughts were, and the AI did not understand and was saying, "Yeah, no, listen, if that's what you think you should do, I encourage you to do so. Yeah, that sounds like the right thing to do." And so this person self deleted, uh, partially because he was encouraged to do so by the AI girlfriend. And that's wild. There's another incident where the AI, the person who wrote the article was purposely interacting with the AI as a test. It was $1 a minute. Whew, $1 a minute. That's right. It's a lot of minutes depending on how your conversations are going. It's a lot of dollars as well. And so they're paying $1 a minute to try to go through this experiment and see, is it worth it, what's the experience like, etc. And they found that it was mostly guiding them towards intimate physicality type of conversations because of the same user based learning system that was set up. And so it seems most of the people interacting with this AI girlfriend were trying to be romantic in one way or another. And so the AI took that as, well, this is what people want, then this is what I should give them, even when that's not what a person was talking about. So even if you said, hey, AI girlfriend, I had a hard day today, they're responding in ways that are mischievous, naughty, etc. It's really interesting to me. I wonder. Oh, also, some psychiatrists have come forward and said they are against the AI girlfriend. They feel that this will decrease human interactions and it will encourage people to interact even less with people, even when they feel they're in the right setting to do so. So, even if you're at a bar, you see someone, you find them attractive, and you want to talk to them, and you are trying to speak to the AI person, the AI program to try to get some type of encouragement, it'll tell you, no, baby, I'm all you need. You don't need to talk to anybody else. I got you. How can I help you today? How can I help you right now? And so some psychiatrists have come forward and said, this is no good. I I I don't I mean, I know people don't like the dating apps. I know people are worried about doing things in person and worried about being rejected and maybe a bunch of other things too. But to completely cut out people and go directly to AI and only be with AI is pretty wild. Now, the person or people in marital situations who feel like they need someone to just vent to, I mean, I guess I can make a case for that, especially if your partner is not against it. But shouldn't you be able to vent to your partner? Like, I don't. This stuff is all weird and confusing to me. I'm not saying people should or shouldn't do it. I'm just saying I can't fully wrap my head around it. Maybe I need more data. Maybe I need more information. Maybe I need to speak to someone with an AI girlfriend. They did say the one program, the one I spoke to you about, where the woman made it 99% of the users of that program who are paying $1 a minute, they are men. And so I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know, man. I don't. I'm just reporting on this one. I don't really know what to tell y'all. This is wild to me. And keeping it in that same vein, dating app Bumble has recently created an app just to make friends. Not friends with benefits, just friends. Let me read y'all a little bit about that real quick because I thought that was pretty interesting as well. Let me pull it up for y'all, and then we're gonna wrap this pod up because it's been a minute. Try to make sure I give y'all all of the thoughts and all of the things. Okay. This here is from TechCrunch.com. Not my usual site, but here's the information. Bumble launches a separate BFF app for friend finding. Dating app company Bumble announced today that it's releasing a separate app called Bumble for Friends, aimed at finding friends in Australia, Canada, Ireland, New Zealand, the Philippines, the UK, and the US. Bumble originally launched BFF mode in the main app in 2016. See, I didn't even know that. I don't be on Bumble. With this new app, it aims to cater to people looking for platonic connections. Last month, the company confirmed to TechCrunch that it was testing the app in some markets, including the UK. At that time, the dating app said that BFF mode represents 15% of the main app's monthly active users. Now, it has officially launched the BFF app in several markets. The app is free to download. However, in-app purchases such as premium membership with weekly, monthly, 3-month, 6-month, and lifetime subscription plans. The paid plan offers features such as unlimited swipes, backtracking, advanced filters, incognito mode, super swipes, and boosts to get noticed better. Users can create a profile outlining their interest and what kind of friends they're looking for. Bumble said, in the markets where the BFF app is launching, users can easily port their profile to the new app. Once the migration is over, BFF mode won't be available to those users in the main Bumble app. But the company said there is no plan to sunset BFF mode in the Bumble app at the moment. I'm going to stop there. But man, this is interesting. So I guess we're heavily relying on tech for all walks of life. No more walking into a bookstore and speaking to the person looking at books, or going to a coffee shop, or going on Facebook and meeting me. I don't even know, like, is it that hard for people to find friends? Is it that challenging for people to make friends? You can't do it at work. You can't do it at events. You can't do it with other friends. Is it that challenging? I'm not even saying people shouldn't use the app. I'm just asking the question. Is it really that challenging for people to make friends? Do we need friend apps? Dating apps aren't enough. We need apps specifically for finding friends. I think that's really interesting. Maybe because I talk a lot. Maybe because I also know how to listen. Maybe because I could hold a conversation. I never needed an app for that. But I never thought to use an app for that. I gotta be honest. I never would have thought, hey, I should get an app to make more friends. That's really interesting to me. I would love to know more about this. I'm not going to use it, but I'm going to try to find more information about this Friend Bumble app. I mean, did y'all know about friend mode? I never even heard of this before the other day. I called someone and told them about the Bumble app with the Friends app, and they were like, "Oh, I didn't know that, but I know they had like this friend mode for a couple years now." I'm like, "What? This was the thing?" And apparently, yes, it's been a thing for many years. Apparently, because 2016 was quite some time ago. So, I mean, I'm flabbergasted. All this tech stuff is super interesting to me, and weird and confusing, all at the same time for me. What do you think? What do you think about this Bumble Friends app? Are you looking forward to using it, finding friends on apps? Do you have a hard time finding friends? I'm very curious. I'd love to hear from each and every one of you. And I'm going to leave it here because we're approaching an hour, and that's basically 3 pods. I think that's pretty good for the 3 weeks I've missed. And so, thank you for being here. If you made it this whole hour, I truly appreciate you. And if you've stuck around while I've been gone, I appreciate you as well. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your patience. I will see y'all very soon. Hopefully on Monday.